Welcome to another episode of the 828 podcast. I'm recording this right now on Saturday, August 5th at 10:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shouts out to everybody who's tuned into this particular episode. This is for my chosen ones. Before I get into this, let me remind y'all while I even bother to come here and use my breath over the internet, it is only for the chosen ones. I understand that many chosen ones, many of us have been going through a very long seeming dark night of the soul. Some of us seems like we've always been going through the dark night of the soul, and perhaps that's all we truly know. But I want you to know that you're right there. You're being initiated into a completely different order. Everything that you've been through has been to prepare you to become who you are now, so that you may be ready for everything that is that you were created for in this particular life. Anything that you may be feeling right now during this time, this is what I call the darkest before the dawn. You are on the horizon of new beginnings. Do not look back. Do not go back. And if you ever spend time thinking back, make sure that you're thinking back and taking from the past lessons that you can apply towards the future, taking from the past and understanding that, as hence the 828 podcast, Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for those who love the Most High and have been called according to the purpose of the divine. Everything and anything that you're experiencing right now are things that are no longer going to be able to exist in this new realm that you're walking into, to this new world that you're stepping into, to this new life and these new beginnings that you're stepping into. There are certain emotions that you've been used to feeling. There are certain thought patterns that you've been used to having. There are certain experiences that you've been familiar with that cannot go to this next level with you. Everything that you might be experiencing during this time, especially if it's in regards to ill health or just any feelings or emotions that you don't care to experience, understand that these are all being purged because they cannot go with you and they don't exist and won't exist in this new realm. Okay. Let's get into it. I don't know who this is for, but this is for somebody in particular. Let me tell you, you're very special. The Most High loves you, because I really wasn't going to do this episode tonight. I'd rather lay down and drink some much needed red wine, some Merlot. That's really what I was about to do. I was like, you know what? This can wait for another day. I feel like I need a glass today. You see what I'm saying? It's a Saturday night too. Pretty boss, your girl been working. Anyways, let's get to it, family. This is for somebody. There's something that you went through in the recent past, okay? For those of you who are listening now, it could have been something that you went through within the past 16 months, within the past 16 days, within the past 16 weeks. But there's something that you went through that it completely disturbed your life. It shook things upside down. It's making me think of that scripture that I love to refer to, that the house that is built on the sand, when the wind blows and the rain falls and the storm comes, not only does the house fall, but great is the fall of it. Some of you experienced something in regards to this. It's something that you thought was solid. This could have been a business relationship. This could have been a home. This could have been anything. This could have been even a certain belief system within yourself, right? It could have been that you had certain beliefs or a particular understanding that you just knew that you had about life, that was just that was it. And all of a sudden something happened that turned that belief system, or turned your world, or turned that relationship, or turned that career upside down. Many of you have been going back and forth, not understanding why. Some of you have been experiencing a back and forth in your emotions, or a back and forth in your focus. For those of you who deliberate, you might feel like this back and forthness has been affecting the things that are manifesting in your life. And the reason that you've been going back and forth, the underlying cause of that, is because you have a deep down question of why. Why did that happen? For a lot of you, this is something that you really wanted. This is something that you spent a lot of time into. So let's say it was a particular career. You've been doing this for years. For those who I'm speaking to, this ain't something you just played with and it fell away. No. Whatever we're talking about here, this is something that you spent time feeding. This is something that you spent time growing for a very long time. Some of you, this could have been something since like you that you were planning, or something that you always wanted or were working towards, even like since you were 16. I don't know, something about the number 16 that I'm picking up on. 17 and 15 as well. But there's something here that you spent a significant amount of time on. It could have been a relationship. You could have, let's say you were in a certain relationship or a particular dynamic, and there were certain compromises you made, certain aspects of yourself that you relinquished to come into harmony with this person, or to come into harmony with that relationship. And all of a sudden it got flipped upside down. Something that you thought was going to be long lasting. For some of you, it could have been a marriage. For some of you, it could have been a situation that you were building or working towards marriage. For some of you, this could have been a household. This could have been something that you were like, man, I've been working to buy this house. I've been working. This is everything that I've been doing was for this. And all of a sudden it fell through. Something happened. And one of the things that has been keeping you stuck, and I'm pretty sure that you're not necessarily aware of that, which is why this message is coming out, is deep down, you've been asking yourself, why? You've been asking the Most High, why? You've been asking life, why? Why did this come crashing down? Why was I led to do this? Why was I led to pour into this particular thing? Why was I led to make so many sacrifices in this particular direction if it wasn't meant for me the entire time around? Where they do that at? The math just ain't mathing to some of y'all out here in regards to this particular situation. You're still confused. You like, yeah, pretty boss. I know it. All things work together for good, but this ain't making no sense though. I'm not interpreting, pretty boss. I've been meditating. I've been praying. I've been trying to come about 55,000 different circumstances and revelations and realizations as of why, but I can't quite put my finger on this thing of why this would particularly happen. Why would the Most High shake this from me after leading me to build into this? Where do they do that at? That's the question that some of you are asking. This is for somebody, I'm telling you, because now I got energy. I was tired and everything. I ain't even thinking about the Merlot. You feel what I'm saying? Check it. This, you're not going to have an answer to during this point. Let it go. Even for many of you who have been part of Pretty Boss TV Patreon, hence patreon.com/PrettyBossTV. Check it out. Join the family. We do real work over there. Where you been? Y'all are aware that we've been doing 30 days to success. For this particular month, we've been working on 30 days to success in love, which is a derivative of the original 30 days to success challenge. And one of the things that I'm big on, especially during 30 days to success, one of the particular exercises and one of the days of the challenge, we get into digging into those lessons, right? This shook my life up, but let's do some little reflection and see, well, what lessons did I learn? Perhaps why did that happen? Now, I'm big on that, but I'm telling y'all that whoever this is for in this particular time, let go of trying to figure out why. Stop going back and forth about it. Stop asking yourself, but maybe I could have did something different. Maybe it was me. Maybe if I just caught this 6 months ago, 12 months ago, maybe if I just made a particular different action, I could still have this thing in my life. Maybe it would have still worked out. Maybe that relationship, maybe that job, maybe that house would have still been mine. Let go. You're not going to figure out the why right now. It's not for you to figure out the why. This is literally one of those times that you're being led to walk by faith and not by sight. Is that something that we love to hear? Absolutely not. We are creatures of habit. We are creatures of loving to at least feel like we have some form of control over our lives. But whatever this was that happened to you, it left you feeling powerless. It left you feeling stripped of everything that you thought you already know or that you were prepared or built for. This is the thing. There was a higher purpose in why this happened. And for many of you, this actually had to do with you being spiritually protected from harm. There was something that this situation that was stripped away from you prevented that, trust me, you would never imagine what that was. Not right now. Some of you may never even know. This, whatever it was serious enough for it to be stripped out of your life. There was something. This was going to lead to something disastrous. This was going to take you off your complete path. And some of you, this was going to take you out of this life. I'm being honest. There was something that you didn't foresee coming. This is something that where the divine has to step in. This is like when the angels just got to come down. I don't even want to say outside of your will, but it's like this is divine intervention here. You know, we always talk about co-creating. There's an aspect of we do and we let the universe do. We do and we receive. We push and we pull, right? But whatever this was a divine intervention. It's making me think of that show. I think it used to be called Intervention. Y'all remember that show that used to come out like on TLC or one of them TV programs back in the day where they'll have like a person who was like really strung out on drugs real bad. And then their family would come together and get a meeting and be like, okay, now we got to intervene. And then they come and they just like bombard the person. And they're like, what are you doing? I still want to do my drugs. But the family intervened and then they got them to go to rehab. And you remember, y'all, I know y'all know what Sean talking about. I think that was Intervention. I don't know. It's a long time ago. I was like 16 last time I seen that. But I said that to say this is what I'm seeing for y'all, like spiritually. It's like there was a gathering of the angels. There was a gathering of your spiritual team. And they was like, look, we have to intervene. We got to do this. We got to do this. I'm sorry. Some of you, this might be too strong of a word, but some of you could be a little bit resentful in regards to this situation. And this has been a major blockage for you moving forward because you just don't understand that you can't conceptualize it. And again, I'm letting you know here, this is your confirmation. And this is a little bit of perspective for you. This was something that was beyond you. This was something that was able to be seen from higher realms that you were not even perceiving. It was out of your perspective. And what you were sent here to do is so important that divine order had to step in. Okay? Stop trying to figure out why. Anytime you find yourself going through the woulda, shoulda, couldas, or trying to figure out why, or thinking or contemplating or rationalizing it, just let it go. Let it go. Shift your focus, shift your energy into another direction. Focus on something else completely. Like, don't even try to figure this out. Because whatever this was for you, this is going to keep you in a holding pattern because you're going to be asking why and why and why, not realizing this is something way above your pay grade. You understand what I'm saying? This was something that you didn't see coming, and this was something that was much further down the road. That's why even if you try to figure it out, like, well, I wonder if it was that person. I wonder if it was that location. I wonder, what about that particular career? What is the business going out of business? Is that market going out of business? But this is something that, you just didn't see. You didn't see. You didn't see. It wasn't possible for you to see. That was outside of your realm of perspective. Okay? Whatever this was, you felt like it's something that you really wanted. And all of a sudden, it's like you got just a no. Like life said no, the divine said no, God said no, the universe said no, everything said no. And you were snatched away from whatever it was that you've been building, that you've been working towards, and you've been put into a position of solitude. Like you were cast away. It's making me think of that movie, Castaway. I forgot the man's name, the dude who played in Forrest Gump. But it's like, and some of you might feel like this. Some of you may still feel like this. Even if you are surrounded by other people and you're not completely in physical solitude, you might feel like you've been casted away. You had one thing planned, and all of a sudden a storm came, and now, just like in Castaway, you done had to swim. You living in the rocks. You like, where they do that at? I had a beautiful life. He was about to get married, or was married some. He had a family. He had a wife, a woman that he loved. She loved him. He had a home. I don't remember what he was doing. He was going on a business trip. He was living his good old life. And all of a sudden the plane crashed, and this man is stranded for years, living in the rocks, having to figure out how to get it in like the cavemen. Some of you, it could be something like that. It's like you don't even feel like you're in your element. You feel like you're out of your element. Like everything said no and then just threw you left. Like everything was snatched from beneath you, and you're having to recalibrate or figure out how to live in this new realm. Some of you it could have been something that was like a forced relocation or something like that. For some of you, it could have been in career. Like I said, you were doing something, you've been doing something your whole life, and now all of a sudden you doing this. You're like, I don't do this. This ain't what I do. I don't even know how to, I can get along and do what I need to do, but this ain't me. Again, some of you, it's environment. It's like you live somewhere, you've been forced to relocate somewhere where you're like, this ain't me. This ain't my energy. You see what I'm trying to say? But again, this was divine intervention and something that you were being protected from. Like something that would have destroyed everything. And like I said, for some of you, it was something, man, this if it wasn't going to take your life, it was going to destroy it to the point of where you would have been out here like these people walking around like the Walking Dead. Hopeless. Like really wondering what happened. Right now, you might be feeling down, but you're in a position of the righteous fall 7 times and rise again. So you might be feeling down, but you're not out. Whatever this was that you were protected from would have had you feeling out. It would have been a cycle that, you wouldn't have been able to break. And if you were able to break this cycle, you're talking about this cycle to take 2 decades for you to get out of. Okay? 2 decades in a day. I'm telling you. Something like that. It would have taken you some time to get yourself out of this situation. This, whatever it was that you were building or whatever it was that you seemed suddenly fell apart, that was going to be a stronghold that you've never experienced in your life. It would have been something that you thought would have been a blessing. It's turned complete curse. Completely. Completely. Okay. Many of you, as I said, you've been thinking back on this. You've been trying to figure it out. You've been trying to rationalize it. You've been in your mental mind about it. And if anything, the best place for you to be in regards to this situation is in your spiritual mind about it. To that higher perspective. Okay, rising above your situation, even rising above yourself, your thoughts, your preconceived notions, rising above that and just accepting the fact that all things work together for you. Everything is always working out for you. Nothing is happening to you, but actually happening for you. You're very blessed, protected, and highly favored. You have a level of protection over your life that most people would die for. You have a level of protection over your life that most people cannot fathom. You can't even fathom it, and don't shoot the messenger here. It's almost as if you take it for granted because you don't know what it is to live without this level of protection. You've always been protected in this way your entire life. Now, I heard some of you as soon as I said that. Pretty boss, me protected. Do you know how much I've been through? Do you know what I experienced? Absolutely, sweetheart. Same here. We chosen. This is a collective experience that all chosen ones have. We've been through the ringer. But with that being said, the things that we have been through aren't compared to the actual assignments that have been launched against us. 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard on the clock right now as I'm recording this message. Absolutely, we've been through things. Absolutely, some of them darts hit us. But you know what was really meant for us? Grenades. Yeah, we might have gotten little beatings, we might have gotten little bruises, but you know what was really meant for us? Paralysis. Yeah, we might be sad. Yeah, we might deal with depression, even major depressive disorder, but you know what was really meant for us? The psychotic home, the mental institution. Yes, we might have been binded. Yes, we might have been constricted in certain areas of our lives. But you know what was really intended for us? And I'm talking about from the opposition, from everything that has been trying to stop you this entire time since you were formed in the womb. Incarceration. With that being said, everything that you've been through is nothing in compared to what was actually negatively intended for you in this world. You came as a light into this world to do light work. This world is dark. This world is 3D and below. Okay? 3D is not even the lowest vibrational energy. The 3D is what we see, it's lower than that. This world is 3D and below. That's the majority of it. It's dark. You came in as light. That's a problem for the opposition. You understand? The world doesn't want to change. But you came here to be as a significant player in that change. So understand that you're going to deal with a lot of opposition. You can see that now. We live in a world where people are followers. People go along to get along. A lot of people don't even think for themselves or care to think for themselves because as a weak active survival, they just do and say what everybody else is doing so that they won't stand out and make themselves a target. Many people do that unconsciously. It's not necessarily a conscious thing. Some people do it consciously. That's sad. But more so, the majority of people who are living like that, they're doing that unconsciously, subconsciously, and don't even realize that they're doing that out of a perceived active survival. Not you. You're not a person who fits in. You're a person who's very different than everybody around you. You're a person who's very different than the world. You're probably not a person who's into trends or anything like that. If anything, you set trends. If anything, you make examples. If anything, you break open doors that many people come through behind you running to follow your example, your leadership, your abilities. You're a natural born leader. You think for yourself, you do for yourself, you move for yourself, and you've always been like that. Mm. I wasn't even going to record this message. Them be the most powerful ones. Let me tell you. This is for somebody. There's a particular destiny that you have. Now, you'll hear many people in this world, family. You got to be very careful with the people that you listen to because everybody's not the same. You're chosen of light. You have chosen ones of light, you got chosen ones of darkness, and with all the other in betweens and everything else, trust me, there's many types of beings in this planet. Don't let the flesh fool you and make you think that everybody that you look at is made of the same fabric as you. Don't let vocabulary words fool you and be like, "Oh, these are all humans," when you really don't understand it's much deeper than that. There's many different type of beings on this realm. And we ain't talking about the aliens they like for you to look up in the sky and be like, "Oh, look at the alien." You live amongst aliens and you don't even know it because they look like you. And even in that is many different types, like I said, beings of people. With that being said, for those of you who this is for, you do have a particular destiny. There are people here that have no destiny. There are people that have a little bit more leverage in their free will because there's no particular destiny over their head. They can go either way, have your way. You ever see, let me give an example. Like, y'all ever seen them shows where it's like you have the kids and they're like, F you, mom. I hate you, mom. And they're like 3, 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? They young. They like, 8, 9, 10, whatever. I hate you, mom. I remember when I used to look at them shows as a kid, I used to be like, yo, that's crazy. You know? That's crazy. Like, where they do that. But y'all remember that? So I want you to understand, like, for many of you listening, you weren't like that neither. You was probably in one of them households like, boy, you wouldn't even think. You would never. You feel what I'm saying? You already knew what time it was if you try to even form your mouth to talk crazy outside your mouth like that to your parents. But then there's also a whole realm of kids that they have free will. They could do whatever they want as a kid. I smoke, I drink, I have sex, and I'm 10 years old. And I tell my mom, shut up. And you looking like, yo, this is wild. Because you ain't had that flexibility. Like you ain't, even if you did stuff, you had to be very strategic and sneaky about how you did it, because it's certain stuff that you wouldn't even fix your mouth to even think was possible to go down in your household. Now, I said that to make a parallel to understanding that just how you got them kids, F you, mom, you got people in this world that's their energy. They not really moving in no particular direction in life. They free balling, they freestyling, they doing whatever they want to do because there's no clear guidance, there's no clear path there. But for those of you who this is for, you do have a destiny over you. That's why you can't listen to all of these quote unquote spiritual teachers, psychological philosophy people, because even though that might be true what they're saying for certain groups of people, you got to understand what messages are for you. You got to have discernment. You got to understand when to chew the meat and spit out the bones. You got to understand what's meant for you and what's not meant for you. And just because somebody's saying something, that don't mean that's for you. Just because it sounds good, just because a whole bunch of people say, you know what, I go along with this philosophy, that might be true for those people. And it's good for us to respect that. Let people do what they want to do. I say, let the dead bury the dead. Let the blind lead the blind. That ain't my job. I'm not here for them. I'm here to speak directly to the hearts, minds, and spirits and souls of the chosen ones. To remind the chosen ones of who you are and who you have always been, even before you incarnated into this physical body. You, my dear, you, my love, you do have a particular destiny over your head. You're not here aimless. You came here with a specific purpose because you're not even from here. Listen, this is why whatever it is that you were building, whatever it is that was snatched away from you that you thought was something that you were guided to do and something that you were destined for, this is part of the reason why that had to go. It was going to completely interfere with this destiny of yours. Whatever situation that you've been dealing with that you feel like it's out of pocket, this isn't even me, this is a very temporary situation. You're going to have new movement in your life very, very soon. It's going to come unexpectedly. Your only job right now is to keep peaceful, to keep your composure. Stay focused on the higher things. Do things that lead you to your higher self, right? Prayer, excellent. Meditation, excellent. Writing, reading, listening to things that are edifying to your spirit and to your soul body, to your spirit man, okay? Exercise, eating, drinking, whatever it is that feeds your spirit man. These are the things to focus on. Whatever it is in your environment, even if it's certain aromatherapy, certain smells, self-care. These are the things that you need to focus on during this time, maintaining your peace. And remember, what do we always say? Those who keep their minds and eyes focused on the Most High shall be kept in perfect peace. Keep your eyes on things above. Don't worry about whatever's going on in your circumstance. It's very temporary. Very, very. Halfway house energy. Trust me. Very temporary. You've been locked down in prison this whole time on a spiritual level, on a 3D level. Now you in a halfway house. You about to really step into the new world, leveled up completely. There's some things that, first of all, nothing is in vain. Whatever pain that you've been feeling associated with whatever it is that you lost, for one, understand that you're healing and from that way more than you're realizing. You, even if it's still affecting you, it's more because you've been in your mind about it. You've been going back and forth about why this has happened. But if you take out the why and you accept that things are always working out for you, there's a much greater purpose over your life, and you have a beautiful destiny at hand that is one of a kind, that people would die to have your life. People would die to be who you are. And I'm not talking about other chosen ones. I'm talking about these worldly people who don't have any competence of anything. They think they do, but they're lost. They're zombies. They're walking dead. I was going to say something, but I ain't going to say it because I'm going to do a video about it. And I don't want to see nobody do a video about it before I do a video about it, because I know as soon as I say it, there's going to be people that runs off and do a video about it. But what I'll say is we live in a world right now of zombies like we've never seen before. The Walking Dead. People are driven animalistically. It's a lot of people in a lower aspect. Right now is a time for you to focus on the beauty of your situation. And the only way that you're ever going to be in line and be able to tap into the beauty of this situation and feel balanced about everything that has happened is by, one, knowing and remembering what your intuition was telling you the entire time. Your intuition was speaking to you during the whole process, and your intuition was right. Don't doubt your intuition now. Sometimes it's easy to look back when we're in a different situation and be like, man, dang, man, maybe I was tripping. Because then your new situation, but after you're out of a certain environment, even if you were in something that was dangerous or potentially toxic, after you're removed from that and then you have time to digest and then you have time to rebalance yourself, sometimes we can look back with rose-colored glasses, not realizing like, oh, nah, like this situation is way better than what I was pulled away from. But because you've had time to rebalance, because you've had time to adjust to this new normal, now you're looking back at whatever that old situation was that fell apart with rose-colored glasses. Your intuition did not lead you wrong. It's time to see the beauty, not only in your situation from that higher perspective, but to be able to see the beauty of having intuition in the first place. There are certain things that we talk about even here on this channel, even as chosen ones, that to us is normal to talk about these things. But if you talk about these things to the world, if you talk about these things to worldly people, they'll look at you like you crazy. They like what you talking about. Where they do that? I don't understand what you mean. All I understand is TikTok. All I understand is money, shmoney. All I understand is love and hip hop. What you mean? All I understand is BBLs and this and that. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. There's no shade to some of that stuff that I said. But what I'm saying is, it's a lot of different realms that's all coexisting right here at once. So you got to understand the beauty in being who you are. A lot of people, especially in the world, have attained and attributed beauty to just outside physical characteristics, when if you could see these people on the inside, they're broken, they're lost, they're shallow, and they have no real true compass in this life or in this world. They just doing what everybody else is doing. You have to see the beauty in who you are, who you've always been created to be. You have to understand that you are in this world and you're not of it. And that is the most beautiful thing. Most beautiful. Okay. Whatever it is that you've been trying to force or figure out, let it go. Even especially for those of you who this might be in regards to finances. Take a step back, pull back. Take this time and this break to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, do things that make you feel pleasure, do things that make you feel love, do things that make you feel relaxed, do things that put you in a positive space. Read your favorite books, watch your favorite movies, find something new to watch, eat your favorite foods. It's one of those seasons. If you got a strict diet, break it just for a little bit. All right. Unless you're irresponsible or food is like your temptation, then tread lightly. If you don't drink or nothing like that, this could be a time for a glass of Merlot. If you got drinking issues and you struggle with that, don't lead yourself to temptation. But you got to use your discernment. I know y'all understand what I'm trying to say. This is a time for you to be a little bit easy on yourself, to nurture yourself, to care for yourself, because there's something that you've been trying to figure out that you don't need to figure out. There's going to be something that is given to you, something that is handed to you, some type of opportunity that seems to come out of nowhere. This is going to be divinely guided to you. Of course, we get our blessings through people, but we understand that all of us are vessels. So your blessing is going to be from the Most High through some type of person or opportunity or situation. This is going to be something that's handed to you. And for many of you, this is going to be in regards to finances. Stop trying to work so hard. Stop trying to force things. Now, for some of you who this is for, you've already been doing this. Some of you have already been pulling back. Some of you have already been taking a break. Some of you could have pulled back from certain things that you've been doing, even in regards to finances, because there's something intuitively that has been telling you, trust me, there's another way, and I'm about to give you something. For those of you who've been feeling like that, or for those of you who haven't been working so hard in regards to finances or trying to figure out finances or force it, this is confirmation that you got something coming very soon. And the reason that you've been like that is because you've been listening to your intuition. You know there's something coming, and you're right. Okay? You're right. 10-4. The same way that your life suddenly fell apart in regards to whatever situation that you've been stuck questioning, why? Why did I get a no on this? That's crazy. The same way that suddenly happened and everything suddenly fell apart, this is exactly how your new beginnings are suddenly going to emerge in your life. Suddenly. Suddenly, something completely better is going to be established and I was going to say resurrected, but that's not the word I'm looking for, but that's also a good word. Something is going to be established. Okay. You're going to be getting a lot of ideas that comes to you. Some of you are going to be having dreams. Some of you are just going to all of a sudden, like, you're going to get communication. An idea is going to slip in your mind. You're going to be talking to somebody. They're going to say something and everything's going to click for you. This is going to happen in different ways, in different forms. And whatever these things that are coming to you, this is literally because your heart has been calling it in, and your heart portal is completely open. If you haven't seen the episode of the 828 podcast called Your Heart is a Portal, I highly recommend you check that out. Especially if this message is resonating with you, that's going to give you a lot of perspective. Things are going to suddenly come in and shift for you. You're moving on up. That's what is that song? He finally got a piece of the pie. Moving on up. I think that's the song. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, it's going to seem like everything that faded to black comes in from the black and just starts to move in your life. As I said, some of you who are listening to this right now could have been dealing with some health issues or emotional health issues, mental health, right? And different feelings that you've been dealing with from the past and memories. This is normal. If you've been feeling that way, this is also some more confirmation for you. If you've been feeling great and your life just been lit, this might not be the message for you. You see what I'm trying to say? This is for people who've been going through some things. And for some of you, it's just been seeming like one thing after another, to where it's really just taking a toll on you mentally, physically, and spiritually. But this is because you're crossing into another realm. You know what this is making me think of? Like, you know how astronauts go to outer space, right? And so on Earth, if you on Earth, we got oxygen, and we do what we do over here. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, whatever. We can breathe in it. We live in it with no problem. But then when you go to outer space, you got to have these tanks, because go up to the moon if you want to and take that mask off outside of that spaceship. You ain't going to be able to breathe. It's going to feel crazy. You might start having all type of issues in your body. Some of you, the things that you've been feeling with is because it's that type of thing. but it's not something that you can see physically, like as if, okay, I'm going to another planet. Of course, my body's going to react to this if I don't have the correct parameters to keep my body at an earthly level, right? But this has been happening on a spiritual level. This has been happening on a vibrational level. We're talking about dimensions here. And even as I said, dimensions all exist here. Even if you're only able to perceive or see the 3D, that's all you're able to perceive. That doesn't mean that that's the only dimension. That doesn't mean that's the only vibration. For my sciencers and my techers out there who likes concrete facts, let's talk about it. We have animals that can hear certain sounds that are above and beyond our perception. Humans can't hear it, but your dog can hear it. The cat can hear it. The snake can see it or perceive it. You can't. There's certain sicknesses that animals can feel. If anybody's ever had an animal, you know animals can tell when you have certain real sicknesses, and they can also tell when you're pregnant before you even know that. Why? Because they have a different level of perception and perceptual awareness that you might not have, but they do. They can hear things that you can't hear, not because the sound isn't being made, but it's just you don't have the ability to hear it. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about this shift that you've been going through affecting you physically. This is because you're moving into a higher dimension. And we're talking about right here in this earthly realm. You're going to be perceiving from a different perspective. Just like how I said, we live amongst cats, animals, all type of animals. We all here. We all can see each other. But we're not all perceiving on the same level. We're not all experiencing on the same level. There are certain colors that certain animals can see that we can't see. There are certain colors that we can see that other animals can't see. You understand what I'm saying? So you're moving through vibration. You're moving through dimension. And some of these things that you are feeling, this is all because of that. You're readjusting. And what you're feeling physically is that difference between where you've been and where you're going. It's just an adjustment period, okay? It's like if you all of a sudden, let's say you live in the Caribbean, you live in hot weather, and then you just go to a cold place. Let's say you go to Germany, but you don't even take your coat, nothing. You just go to Germany with your swimsuit on. You're going to feel that, right? It's going to be like, oh my God, you might get sick, all type of stuff, because you got to adjust to that. And then after you adjust, you're going to do the things that you need. You're going to be like, you know, I need a coat out here. You know what? I need to put my heater on out here. You know what? I might need a hat. You know what I mean? I might need to drink tea. So it's so funny because some of you're feeling this so dramatically because this is how swift this last stage of this shift is. It's very swift, but it's out of your perception, but it will be in your perception because you're going to see how your external life changes because of this vibrational switch, because of this dimensional switch. When you get to the other side of this initiation. And I've been talking about that initiation since February. If you would like more episodes of the 828 podcast to get the full grasp of this journey that we've been on, you can join us on patreon.com/prettybossTV. There's several episodes of the 828 podcast. I believe this might be episode either 62 that I'm recording or 63. There's only 4 or 5 episodes on YouTube, so you do the math. Okay? We dive deep. There's going to be something just suddenly breaks through for you. Some of you have been trying to really call certain things. Some of you have been praying about certain things. Some of you have been focused. Some of you know that you're master manifestors and you like, yo, what is going on? Why am I having so many hangups? Why are certain things that I know that I've created with the Most High? Why are there blockages? Why isn't this coming into fruition? But what you don't understand is that you've already manifested it. The only thing that you need to do is take a step back, take care of yourself, and let it come in because it is. All of a sudden, it's going to come in. It's going to be something that's given to you. Trust me. You're going to break through to a level that you never have, whatever this is. It's like whatever glass ceiling that you've been experiencing in your life, like let's say in relationships, let's say it's like let's say you're the type of person that's like, man, I always get to the level of where we're engaged, and then right before the marriage, the engagement gets cut off. Or let's say in finances, you're like, man, I always reach this level of six figures, but when I reach that point, like I can't break through six figures or whatever it is for you, five figures, whatever, seven figures, whatever it is. Let's say, even if you think about social media, like, man, I get to this point with my pages or with my channels, but it's like I can't reach beyond this level of reach or this level of audience. Whatever it is for you, whatever glass ceilings that you feel like you've been experiencing in your life, even let's say this is in regards to physical things like exercise. Let's say you exercise, you work out. Even I'll equate this to like powerlifting. Let's say you're like, man, every time I get to this point, I never get to get results past that. Like either something happens or I just don't know how to do it, or I like my results flatline. You're breaking through something. You're gonna break through, and like I said, it doesn't just have to be one thing. It could be in many aspects of your life, because this breakthrough is symbolical. It's deeper than just one thing. So even if it's like, let's say it's in regards to finances or relationships or body or whatever the case might be, this is going to be something that you break through, and you might see it in one aspect of your life. Let's use the example of exercise. Let's say you're like, man, I can never get past this size. I'm trying to get bigger than this size in the gym for my power lifters. And then all of a sudden, now what you're gonna realize with this breakthrough, with this breaking through this glass ceiling, is that you're gonna get to a level within your physical fitness that you've never reached. Like, ooh, I never got these results before. And trust me, that same energy is gonna spill across the other aspects of your life that it seems like it was a glass ceiling. This could start out anywhere. Even for you, some of you, it might be finances. It might be like, man, oh my goodness, I made more. I finally broke through my financial limit or my annual salary. I finally broke through that. You're also going to see that breakthrough bleed over into other aspects of your life. Wherever you get that initial breakthrough, that is just a sign and confirmation that the rest of it is coming, if that makes sense. Okay, it's going to come right behind the other two, but you're going to get you're going to break through that glass ceiling in whatever aspect of your life that you've had the least resistance towards first. And then after you get that breakthrough, it's going to give you the energy and the momentum and like the confidence and power to see through and experience that breakthrough in other aspects of your life as well. Okay. You're going to be celebrating sooner than you think. You're going to be having a lot of fun. You're going to be having a good time. There's some passion that's going to reemerge in your life. Also, whoever this is for, like, you're aging beautifully, meaning that you're really taking care of yourself more than you even realizing and giving yourself credit for. And a lot of you are going to start recognizing that you're truly aging backwards. But again, this all has to do with this entire shift. You're going to have passion in your life like you've never experienced. Some of you think it's over. Some of you think like your best days are behind you and you haven't even experienced nothing yet. You're going to feel like a child. And like I said, for those of you who this is money, and is not, I can't even say for those of you who this is money. This is what I'm trying to say. If you've been having any stagnancy or situations, financial situations, or just a headache in regards to building your financial stability in that way or with your career, oh, you are about to tap into something that changes the game. You're about to do something or start something that you're gonna, man, this is gonna bring you so much passion, and you're gonna get the results from it quickly. You know how sometimes you can work on something for a long time before you start seeing results. You're gonna get the results in the front end. And ooh, I'm hearing it like this. You're gonna get the results in the front end, and it's gonna be something that continues to fuel your passion. It's gonna be like the bullseye. You're hitting something on the knob. Another thing that's gonna be good for y'all to do during this time as you're keeping your composure through this halfway house in between world period, as you're being available to walk through this door for real to these new beginnings, get outside. Put your feet in the grass. Get in water if you can get in water. There's another message that I have that I'm gonna give before I close this out. Not only do you have information coming to you in regards to your physical well-being, meaning finances, material things, that's coming, trust me. You're gonna be pleasantly surprised by this. It's gonna bring a lot of pleasure into your life. Your lifestyle is gonna change sooner than you know. Whatever you're dealing with right now, like I said, this is a very temporary situation. Think about yourself as living in a hotel. Some of you might be living in a hotel right now, very temporary. Very. There's going to be someone who's led to communicate with you within the next month. If you don't hear from this person in August, you're going to hear from this person in September. This is a person who is your mental match, your intellectual match. And it's not just the person who's your intellectual match. This is somebody who you exist in the same realm. You see things from the same perspective. You are both actually very evolved souls. You both came here with a particular purpose and destiny, and there could be some things that kept you apart in life, even oppositions, even envy, interference of others, all type of stuff. Y'all know how life is. Y'all know how the devil do. But there's somebody in particular that you're going to be hearing from. Some of you could already be having dreams about this person. For some of you, this could have been somebody that you do know. This doesn't have to be somebody you actually had a adult relationship with, but this could be somebody that you know. And for some of you, this is going to be somebody that you don't know. But when you meet them, it's going to feel like you've always known them, because you do know this person spiritually. You also know this person mentally. You know this person on many levels. This is just going to be the first time that y'all are coming together now. This communication is going to come in suddenly. And when you start communicating with this person, it's not going to stop. It's not going to be a pause. Like, you know how some people play games like, oh, we were doing so well and it was moving along, and then it's crickets. No. This is going to be something that comes in suddenly, and it's just going to continue to build and build and build. Y'all are already communicating with each other and don't realize it. Whatever structures that you've been tapped into, you're breaking out of. I always have said from the beginning over here, we don't do religion over here, we do relationship. Religion is a construct. Religion is something that was created by man. And religion was created by man for certain men's agendas. When we're talking about having a relationship with God and we're talking about religion, we're talking two different languages. Nothing is wrong with religion. I feel like religion can be great for those who need certain types of structure. Some people do need that. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. As I said, you have to know what's for you and what's not for you. And just because something is not for you doesn't mean that it's not for somebody else. We have to be able to have discernment. We got to be a little bit more intelligent and discerning during this time to understand that many of us are different, right? And what's necessary for one person might not be necessary for another person, and vice versa. There's some people who can't eat sugar. Some people can. You see what I'm saying? There's some people who can't eat meat. Some people can. There are some people who are allergic to some things. Some people are not. You see what I'm saying? So we can see those differences in the physical with how we're all constructed. How can we not see those differences in other ways and at least respect it? With that being said, for those who this is for, you're not trapped into any paradigms. You're not trapped into any boxes. And any boxes that has kept you boxed in, you're breaking out of all of those things, and it's going to make the entire difference in your life. You're about to be pleasantly surprised, okay? Like I said, you're going to be getting some good information coming in. You're going to be getting some good news. Some of you, you're literally going to get like a letter or email or something that is actually tangible, and it's going to be like, man, this is what I've been waiting for. You're not even, it's going to be a slightly unbelievable. It's going to bring you so much joy and pleasure. You're going to be passionate about this. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity that's going to come to you, and you're going to be like, wow. Wow. This is what I've always wanted. Some of you not even going to realize this what you've always wanted, but when the opportunity comes, you're going to be like, this is it. This is what I was manifesting, not even realizing that this was what I was co-creating with the Most High. But this is it. You're gonna recognize it when you see it. Even if it was a video that I did about you're about to meet the one. And I was like, when y'all meet each other, it's gonna be like it's gonna be something that you've never experienced before. This is the same thing. Whatever's coming in for you in regards to opportunity, because a lot of you, what I'm talking about with this opportunity, this has to do with your career, your financial and material well-being. This is going to be something that you never thought about doing. And when you see it, you're going to be like, holy, this is it. This is it. So this has been the 828 podcast. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. If you're listening from YouTube, because I will be sharing this particular episode on YouTube, let me know, how does it resonate in the comments? Let me know, have you checked out the other episodes of the 828 podcast? This is going to be the 5th episode that I share on YouTube. The other ones are equally powerful. And for those of you that are listening on Patreon, y'all know y'all get it first. So I will be sharing this tonight, 11:47 p.m. EST, as I'm checking out on this message. Let me know, family, how does this resonate with all of you? I love you all so very much. Remember, you're chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen, and you're one of the few. Talk to y'all soon, y'all willing. Peace.